bear the weight.
I think so. I can feel the icon inside me. But something's wrong. He wasn't just afraid. He was angry. All right. Let's see what you've given me.
Is that Leviathan?
No, just an egg. But a formidable adversary nonetheless.
Oh, look. It has friends. It's over. Is everyone all right?
He seems calmer now.
You said Walius was frozen in time. But he knew we were here. How?
I don't know. He's never reacted to anything or anyone. Until now.
The child has been bound for nigh on a century. If he has been conscious from the first, we must remove the seal at once.
It's not that simple. I wish it were, but there's more to this tale. It would be better if I explained back at the village.
I see. Then let's return before it gets dark.
I'm sorry, 𝚁𝙁𝙃. I will make this right. So, part of Leviathan is inside you now, is it? Does it hurt?
No. Not anymore, anyway.
Good, because I still have need of your strength. If you want to know the rest, we should head to the Witten Hall.
Of course.
Look, Dad, the cherries back. Do you think they save 𝚁𝙁𝙃?
We'll find out soon enough, son.
The broom is your war hammer. The leaves our mortal enemy. Show them no mercy.
Yes, my lord. I bid you good tide.
To understand the spell which binds 𝚁𝙁𝙃, you must first know who we are, and what drove my forebears to commit such an atrocity. This tapestry is our story, the one that brought us here. After generations of wandering, my people sought refuge in northeastern Storm, some 170 years ago. But in exchange for our safety, the Gregorian Church demanded we renounce our faith and branded us heretics when we could not.
To be exterminated, as a lesson to others.
And so was it chronicled in the imperial histories, for anything less would have made the Church seem weak. Yet a handful survived. The few who did fled north and west, and in doing so discovered two things that would forever shape our fates. The first was an old legend revealing how to make your very own mother crystal.
I've heard that one before.
Yes, yet it gave them new hope, however false. Our ancestors convinced themselves that they could recreate the divine if they could only find a strong enough heart. A living being capable of channeling torrents of ether. And the heavens provided.
A dominant 𝚁𝙁𝙃.
They'd stumbled across a nostrum in an ancient ruin, which they believed could provoke a sudden outpouring of a creature's ether. They meant to enrage his icon. Leviathan would have destroyed everything, had our people not made their second important discovery. A means to stop time itself.
Where did they find that? The Northerners had no such magics, or they would have used them.
When our ancestors first arrived, the land was uninhabited, save for an old witch who lived on the highest peak. Her body had been consumed by the curse, a cruel payment for her long years of service to the Northern Thanes. So desperate were they to prevent the fall of Drake's Eye, they'd forced her to devise a spell to stop time.
But Drake's Eye did fall.
It did. When she finally perfected the necessary magics, it was already too late. As punishment for her failure, the Thanes exiled her to this forsaken place to live out the few days she had left. Knowing her suffering, our ancestors cared for her as best they could, and in return, she gifted them her spell, that even though she should die, her legacy might live on. So armed with both the knowledge of the ancients and the secrets of time, our ancestors settled upon an ambitious plan. They would create a new Mother Crystal and enchant it that it might endure for all eternity. Thus would our people's wandering, our suffering, finally end, and prosperity visit us once more. And all it would require was the sacrifice of a single child. A small price to pay, or so they believed.
Another victim of man's blind reliance on the Mother Crystals. So we know the seal's source. How do we break it and restore the flow of time?
Do you recall the dome of light on top of the cliffs to the west? Inside lie the ruins of an old temple. It was there that the witch built the 𝚁, a conduit of sorts that channels her remaining ether into the surge. But it's been a long time since anyone set foot in the place. And now there are others who claim it as their own.
Then we shall go prepared for a fight. That said, it may be best if one of us stays behind.
You think the village could be in danger?
We saw the ether flow from 𝚁𝙀 in all directions, but only encountered a single familiar. There will be more. And should even one make its way here, I doubt the walls could hold it back for long.
Then I shall stay. The Phoenix will see your people safe, tributary.
You have my thanks.
Very well. We should depart at once. I fear time may no longer be a luxury we can afford.
The 𝚁 is not easy to find. We must first head north and then west, deeper into the forest.
Sighted the child.
You don't think he's...
Yes? I can't go on like this.
Don't say that. You'll only get yourself worked up again. Just try to breathe. That's it.
Is everything all right?
Ah, you're the outsider. I'm 𝚁𝙁, healer by trade. And this is 𝚁𝙁, one of my patients. He took ill not long after you arrived.
Nothing too serious, I hope.
I hope so too, but...
But...
This affliction, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. He complains of feeling chilled to the bone, but there's no fever to go with it. And my most powerful antalgic hasn't done a thing to ease the pain in his chest. I'm starting to wonder if his condition might require a different kind of treatment altogether. Shula said that you were here to help us. You couldn't help me, could you?
I'd be happy to. If I can.
You can, don't worry. All I need you to do is speak to 𝚁𝙁's son, Pavat, over at the forge, and ask if he knows what his father was up to before he came down sick. Something must have caused this, and I want to find out what. The trouble is, 𝚁𝙁's too weak to speak, and I can't leave his side for long. So while you talk to Pavat, I'll pay his wife word a quick visit, just in case she knows anything.
All right.
Do you need something?
I do, though not from the forge. 𝚃 asked me to speak with you. She's looking into the cause of your father's illness and wondered if you could shed any light on the matter.
I see. Sorry. She shouldn't have dragged you into this.
It's no trouble, really. Tell me, did your father do anything out of the ordinary before he fell ill?
Not that I know of. But then I hardly see him. He's always out and about, like. Well, at least he was. Suppose he might have been a bit more fidgety than usual, but apart from that.
When you say out and about, where does he usually go?
Just round the village. Wanders over to 𝚁𝙺's place most days. He's a fisher who lives on the other side of the fount. They're old friends. Maybe he knows something I don't.
Maybe. I'll go and speak with him.
No sign of the child.
You don't think he's... Speak with you a moment. There is a matter with which I would beg your aid.
Of course, what is it?
Please, not so loud.
Something serious, then?
Yes. I think we might have company. I was passing by the low gate when I saw a figure moving among the trees up on the cloak. At first, I thought it must have been you or your brother, so I didn't say anything, but the more I think about it, the more certain I am that the figure looked familiar.
And you're sure it wasn't one of the other villagers?
Positive. I think it was someone from outside the wall who has found his way inside. Of course, it could just be my imagination playing tricks on me. I only caught a fleeting glimpse, and it might have been you or your brother. But if it is who I think it is, we cannot allow him to leave now that he knows we're here. Would you go and see? Oh, he won't try to hurt you, believe me. Given what lurks in the forest, the only one likely to get hurt is him.
Very well. Whether the man you saw is who you believe him to be or not, we need to know. It may yet be someone else entirely. Someone who means your people, or my people, harm.
Perhaps. Just promise me that if you do find someone up there...
Don't worry. I won't draw my sword unless I need to.
Thank you.
Ymilla, this man you saw, might he be the customer you told me of?
I fear so.
The customer?
I'll explain later. Come on.
The figure I saw was about halfway up the cloak. That's our name for the mountain you crossed to get here.
many of the flowers there won't be enough left to go to seed. And then next year, we won't have any.
Greetings, stranger. What can I do for you?
Your name is 𝚁𝙁𝚅𝚅, is it not? Pavad tells me you're a friend of his father's, and that the two of you may have spent some time together prior to his illness.
His illness? Ṭallor's never been ill a day in his life. I don't know why he'd start now.
Oh, Fanny doesn't know either. It was she who asked me to look into his recent behavior on the off chance it might explain how his condition arose.
I suppose there was something that struck me as a bit odd. He kept asking about the woods. Did you see anything strange on your way back from the shore? Are you certain? Do you swear? That kind of thing. I didn't, of course. But he wouldn't let it go. It was like he was expecting something to happen. It was just a matter of when. Not that I know what, but he never told me anyway.
Well, that certainly does sound unusual. And it might just be what Fannet is looking for. Thank you.
Don't mention it. Oh, and when you say Ṭallor, wish him the best from me, eh?
Let's see what the healer makes of this.
I can hardly believe it. Ṭallor of all people. Oh, though I suppose we're both getting on a bit.
Almost time for harvest, then?
Aye.
Spoke with 𝚫𝙁, but she couldn't tell me anything. Did you have any better luck?
Nothing conclusive. But there was one thing. 𝚁𝙁𝚅𝚅, the fisherman, told me that Ṭallor had taken a sudden interest in the forests of late. He kept asking him if he'd seen anything unusual there on his way back from the coast, but never let on what exactly he was expecting him to have seen.
The forest between here and the coast. Surely not. But then... I can't say for sure. But I think Ṭallor's illness might have some connection to the Tómbres. You may have encountered them during your time here. The small, scaly beastmen.
And you think they may have caused Ṭallor's illness?
I do. At least in a way. And if I'm right, it's no wonder the treatments I've been trying didn't work. Oh, I know it's a lot to ask, but would you go down into Father's Fell for me? There's an altar there, and if my fears are true, an offering upon it.
What is going on here?
Please, I'll explain everything when you return, but time flows fast. I beg you, make haste for Father's Fell and take the offering from the altar. Ṭallor's life may depend on it.
Very well.
There's an old altar in the forests of Father's Fell where the Tómbres sometimes congregate. If you leave now, it might not be too late.
Leave me be. Let me go. Let me go. Bastard things.
the fish right out of the baskets. Oh, I never should have let him go alone. Ty, take me, what am I gonna do? You've got to help me. 𝚁𝙁 said you were a force to be reckoned with, are you?
Why do you ask?
Eh? Oh, sorry, I should explain. My name's 𝚃𝙗𝙗. I'm worried about a friend of mine. He went into the forest and he hasn't come back. Would you help me find him?
I can try. Tell me what I need to know.
Of course. You know about the glamour our ancestors cast to keep this place hidden, right?
𝚁𝙁 told us about it, yes.
Right. So you know the cairns we use to maintain the spell? Well, it's me and my friend's job to maintain them. If it weren't for the likes of us, it would have faded years ago.
So your friend went into the forest to visit one of these cairns?
Aye, that's right. He said he was going down to Father's Fell. There are 2 cairns out that way, one by the banks of the Swift Run and another near the 𝚤𝙾𝙲𝙺, the ships in the forest.
All right. How will I know this friend of yours?
His name's 𝚁𝙻𝚅𝚅𝙸𝙰𝚃. He's about my height, but clean-shaven. If you could track him down and see that he's come to no harm, I'd be much obliged. I'll search the village, just in case anyone's seen him, and meet you back here.
Very well. One cairn by the ships, another by the river. Better get moving.
Hail, stranger.
Before we turned east at the shipwrecks to reach the coast. Now we must head in the opposite direction.
Left it is, then. If there's one thing I know about beastmen, is that they love to hide in the dark. What are they up to? Some sort of ritual. Sorry to disturb you. Let's see what's on this altar, then. A silver chain. I doubt the Tombrys made it. This must be what Fennec was talking about. Well, here's the cairn. But no sign of Nseph. To the riverbank, then. Who have we here? I'm looking for a man named Nseph.
Aye, I know him. Takes care of the cairns. Wait, you didn't think I was him, did you? Sorry, mate, I'm just out to gym myself a few ibexes. What do you want with the lad, anyway?
His friend, Katav, asked me to look for him. Apparently he ventured out to work on one of these cairns and didn't return.
Well, that is a worry.
You're a hunter, yes? You must know the woods as well as anyone. Can you think where he might have gone?
There's a bridge further down the path. Blasted thing got washed away a few moons back. Our carpenter only recently had time to rebuild it. But if I remember rightly, there is another cairn on the far side. Maybe he decided to visit that one while he was here.
Maybe. It's worth a look, certainly. Thank you.
Don't mention it. I'll keep an eye out too. Perhaps he just got delayed or something.
Let's hope so. This must be the bridge the hunter was talking about. Hold on!
Oh, thank you.
I'm the tributary's guest. And you must be 𝚁𝙻𝚅.
I am? But how do you know that?
Your friend 𝚁𝙗𝚂 asked me to look for you when you didn't return.
I'm sorry. I was so focused on attuning the cairn I didn't see those creatures coming till it was too late.
How exactly do they work?
Oh, there are crystals inside. They're what keeps the glamour going. Should the ether cease to flow through too many of them, our shroud would quickly unravel. It's my job to make sure that doesn't happen.
And an important job it is. But you'll struggle to do it if you're dead. You need to take more care.
Yeah, no arguments there. The truth is, me and 𝚁𝙗𝚂 have usually worked together, watching each other's backs like. But when we heard outsiders were coming, we split up to get the job done faster, so things would be perfect for your arrival. Stupid, I know.
So you found him then?
Not before the local fauna did. My arrival seemed to put them off their dinner.
Mustn't have been hungry after all. Expect you'll be wanting someone to escort you back to the village then, 𝚁𝙻𝚅. Woods are full of nasties today.
When you're next in Haven, be sure to come and see us. You saved my life. It's only right I repay you.
If you insist. Take care now.